Hello, good evening and welcome once again to our English news edition. Here are the top stories. Ab'a pass car registrations operations. A rehabilitation center for Al-Shabaab militants.
Those were the top stories and welcome to our newsroom. After the announcement of his candidacy at the next presidential election, the candidate of UMP party Ismail Omar Guelleh has today made public the official appointment of a campaign director, Mr. Ali Guelleh Abubakar. The statement says that he will be assisted by a deputy director of the campaign, in this case Mr. Yusuf Musadwale, as well as it is stated that the Committee of Organization and Coordination of the presidential campaign is placed under the responsibility of the director.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Qasim Issa Osman, has held today in his office an information meeting on the emergence of a Zika virus in the Latin American and the sharing of the World Health Organization recommendation following in the field of prevention was present at this meeting. The representative of World Health Organization, the responsible for the office of FUNAP, the representative of PNUD, and responsible for IOM, responsible of the war responsible, and the NHR and the IFD. The objective of this meeting shared by the Minister of Health was possess the same information of the emergency and the new Zika virus that is currently regained in the Latin American and in some countries of Africa. It is important, he said, that all the stakeholders interact together in the sharing the information on the future evolution of this epidemic, even if currently this virus is far from the Republic of Djibouti. However, it is important that the controls continue in the port and airport of Djibouti due to the globalization and the flows of goods and human beings.
A workshop on the promotion of energy efficiency in buildings was held this morning at the Palace of the People. This workshop is organized by the Djiboutian Agency of Energy Mastery in collaboration with the Environment Ministry and the ISE in the framework of Climate Change World Alliance project. The Republic of Djibouti benefits of the support of the Climate Change World Alliance, which aims to strengthen its capacity to participate actively. This workshop has gathered the main actors of Djibouti and the European Union operating in the sector of energy efficiency and renewable energy, where they reflect a common willingness to encourage partners in this area. The objectives of the energy efficiency policy is to reduce the consumption of 35% electrical power at the 2035 horizon, as well as 13% and 26% in 2035. This will allow the country to put itself on a trajectory of development to a low carbon, since the intensity of primary energy will decline in 20% between today and 2035. This project is funded by the delegation of the European Union and by the department in charge of the environment. It aims to strengthen the capacity of the government to register actively in the fight against climate change.
After Arta, Dikhil is the second region to benefit from the Social Health Assistance Program known as PASS. The mobile team of the CNSS came to complete the operation of recording the solidarity pain of the patients in Okar. For this final stage, the Director General of the CNSS, Ms. Hasna Farah Hassoui, has visited yesterday Ab'a to encourage its team and to make the point on this operation, which have lasted for nearly 3 months to Dikhil. Let's watch this report.
Neither the steep paths nor the sandy tracks surrounding the most remote areas have been enabled to slow down the mobile teams of the CNSS, who came to register the nomads living in Dikhil for the past car. The teams have traveled inland in the region of Unity. The culmination of this journey was Ab'a. Cradle of Peace has been marked by the visit yesterday of the CNSS director along with her close collaborators. It has been the time for the director to inquire about the end of the past registration operations in Dikhil. The occasion also to explain to the population about the Paskar. They will be able to benefit from all the care in these medical centers in the region without spending a penny. During her visit, the Director General of the CNSS has also on the sidelines held a meeting with the women of Abha and its surrounding communities such as Hanle 1 and 2. They have discussed on the needs in the field of health coverage. In a wake, the registration operations were going ahead. Men, women and children have came massively thanks to the logistic assistance of Dikil inter-regime armies headed by the Chief of Corps Lieutenant Colonel Idris Omar Aleye. The notables of this region have also taken part of this event. Among them, Idris Abdullah Musa, a father of 8 children, who in an interview has indicated that the past demonstrates once again that the most deprived were in the good hands of the government. He has indicated that there is no better than to offer medical coverage. I have been able to be registered at the pass as well as my family, he said. We can only be happy of this health program and I thank the authorities. Still in the region of Dikil, the books of Islamic rites entitled Fiqh and Hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, were delivered yesterday to dozens of imams in the region of Dikil. This donation of religious books has been delivered by the Delegation of Muslim Affairs Ministry led by the Secretary General of Waqf, Muhammad Hussein Douali. This delegation, composed of Executive Secretary of High Islamic Council Director and Advisor to the Minister Sheikh Gurad Mahamadou, has been welcomed by the Prefect of Dikil Muhammad Sheiko and President of the Regional Council, where several imams of mosques have been sensitized on the rules of their obligations. Let's recall that the imams educate the faithful on the application of the Prophet's Sunnah.
As each year, the National Gendarmerie is preparing to celebrate tomorrow their 17th anniversary of autonomy at the training center of Sheikh Musa in PK 23. This ceremony, which will be assured by the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, will see the participation of the members of the government to the Minister of Defense and the Chief of Staff of the Army Forces Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim. This ceremony of the Gendarmerie 17 years of existence is an opportunity to make review the achievements of this noble institution, which shine day by day. The Gendarmerie does not cases to impose itself as Republican forces by their sense of duty and by their spirit professional.
After 3 days of theoretical training, the Marine units and the commanders of Coast Guards participating in the exercise of Cutlass Express 2016 have moved to the practical exercise. The men of the National Navy, those of the Coast Guards, as well as the representative of the Marine Forces of Rwanda, Sudan and Kenya have conducted exercise of a collision, then have carried out operations of assistance and relief conducted at sea. These operations were called medical emergencies. Each step is followed step by step, and the exchange of information and data are held in parallel through the means of communication notebooks. These trainings focus on all the possible scenarios of a possible attack or on the need to intervene quickly in order to intercept traffickers or stop pirates. The interventions of monitoring the coast and designed to annihilate the illegal fisheries were also held. These different simulations must complete these Cutlass Express 2016 exercises, supported by the Command of the United States Marine in Africa, AFRICOM. These exercises have gathered this time also representative of the Turkish Navy and the Danish Navy. This is the 5th consecutive year they have been held in Djibouti. They are intended to improve the cooperation between the participating nations in order to increase the maritime safety in the offshore of the East African countries.
The eradication of the thirst and the ease of access to drinking water is one of the absolute priorities of the government's policy. Make this view concrete reality and put the population of rural areas in the shelters of difficulties related to water stress are the noble mission that continuing unabated the direction of the rural hydraulic of the Ministry of Agriculture until the next the more remote council of our national territory, which Ms. Suad Suleiman is the director of this department. It is in this context that the Tuesday 2 February 2016, the direction of the rural hydraulic of MAEP has organized in the region of Tadjoura a training workshop for the members of the committee for the management of the dwelling focuses on the administrative management. The training took place in the local region council of Tadjoura. The workshop has brought together the member of the management committee of the dwelling of 5 large community in the region, namely Dora, Asagela, Boli, Adoila and Adelu. The objective of the workshop is to initiate the member of the CGE to take ownership in the management of their books to put hydraulic at their disposal by the direction of the rural hydraulic. The objective is also to transfer their some competence which will enable them to get out assistance.
Since 1999, the policy of gender promotion initiated by the President of the Republic has had a very positive impact on the women who occupy all the posts in the administration. Some have political positions within the government of the assembly to the judiciary, and even in the private sector, women are very active. This commitment has been emulated with some women even in the rural areas where we have crossed a young driver of a pickup truck on the roads of Tadjoura region. She has become a source of pride for her parents, a source of admiration, an example for her comrades, and a strong symbol of gender promotion, as well as the equality between men and women. Here, this documentary prepared by Yusuf Abdullah with the images of Saeed Dimpio, telling us all about it.
Women drive the cars but mainly in the city, but it is rare to cross a driver of a van in the rural areas, especially on the difficult road between Tadjoura, Dora and Bolhu. The young driver of a van that our colleague of Tadjoura, Dimbio, has crosses is called Halima Yusuf Ali. She is born in 1996 in Dora, currently a student at the high schools of Tadjoura. Halima is a sport and has been selected in the team of handball of its region of Tadjoura. Halima is a sport and has been selected in the team of handball of its region. At first view, she is a girl like the others. She has the air a little shy, but very vigilant when it's led his pickup truck between the road, Tadjoura, Dora and even up in Musa Ali. Often this route is very difficult to browse. It exercises the profession of a man with vigor. She has learned to drive with her father, Yusuf Ali, who known personality in the region of Tadjoura since it was at the time driver of these own vans attending this road leading of Tadjoura to Bolhu. His family residence Dora. Halimo has obtained his driving license last year. She may finally help his father to drive this car. She knows very well the mechanical and it's maintain a regular ways his car. She leads very well the track in a professional manner, taking into account well the steering. His father Yusuf Ali is pleased to have a daughter who looks like him. She is the first to welcome his daughter of each tribe. Her father have made an interview. Halima support me very much of times and she accompanied me sometimes and she made the tribe all along, he said. I'm proud of it because she is the first girl to lead in this sector of Tadjoura. It is a major step forward for Tadjoura women and especially for the women of Dora. Halima is an example for the young girls of his age and she is a first for the women of our region who are ready to exercise all the trade, he added. Other comrades have also made an interview. It slurred his pickup truck while preparing the handbill and preparing his bachelor degree. This classmate admired Halima for this effort. She said, I congratulate Halima for what she had done. It's lead support her father while practicing the sport. Halima has been selected in the team of handball of Lycée to defend the colors of Tajora. Her girlfriend also declares that it very much appreciates Halima. When I am with her and that I see lead her, I'm happy. That gives me also the hopes of driving. I have not learned to drive for the pleasure. She helped her father and her family. She supported her father as would a boy concluded. Other classmate has expressed himself. He said she mastered the steering wheel, especially on the road of a risky and difficult of Tajora. But Halima is confident since she has acquired the rudiment of mechanical. She has never started a car without having first checked and the engine, specifying that she is also able to change tire, which requires the elsewhere a lot of effort, especially for a girl. She has control of gendarmerie. She proudly shows off her license and her paper to convey. Halima Ali Yusuf has indicated to us in a quote that the pleasure of driving came to her mind when she was young and her father was the owner of a Vance Regin in Tajora, Tudora and Balhu. I goes with him in this route. He also exercising the trade between these two villages, and I decide to help him. Driving a car is not especially common in rural areas, but I am ardently committed. In effect, this commitment is the result of the leadership of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margele, to retain of a woman since its accession of a supreme magistrature of the country, since it has encouraged women to get involved throughout the development and the work and the world work. Thanks to this commitment and specify Halima women occupy today all the position and they are present in the government and to the temple. By elsewhere, she has held to congratulate the First Lady of the country, Ms. Khadra Mohammed Haid, for the constant effort in the favor of advancement of women as a level of the region of Tajora. The population draws much to the development with the road Tajora Balho, and the construction attended the connection of to Djibouti and Ethiopia. In the framework of the activities and school sport to launch the sports season for this school year to start yesterday at the high school Genesmi and Djibouti in the presence of a head of institution and official of the MENFOP. This second edition has started with the tournament of handball between the Lycée of Belbela and the Lycée of Djibouti girls and boys. This first tournament have seen the confrontation of the team girls and boys of the high school of Belbela and the high school of Djibouti under the applause of the supporters of team and on two high schools. This first day of the launch of the sports season to give us the victory rate girls at the high school of Belbela on the scores of 4-2 among the boys and the high school of Djibouti on the score rather to 26-4. These sport activities fall within the framework of the revitalization of sport activities in the school environment. For a reminder, the revival of school sport in a strong measure of a Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Dr. Jama Al-Maukiye, who attend to revive the spirit of a team and competition between the students.
Still in sports, the University of Djibouti has organized yesterday evening the launch of tournaments of futsal in the presence of Dean of the Faculty of Science, Dr. Ramadan Ali, and the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Dr. Abdul Qadir, as well as the leader of the Sports Service in University Life, Mr. Abdul Rahim Adad. This tournament is organized by the University of Djibouti through the Service of Sports in University of Life. This challenge fits into the framework of the activities of the academic life and the development of university sports. This tournament has seen the participation of 9 teams of 7 faculties in 2 teams who represent the central administration of the university. The first match of this challenge has opposed the team of the Faculty of Law, Economics and Administration to the Directorate of Computer Resource. The Director of Computing Resource has beaten Faculty of Law, Economics and Administration with a score of 2-1. These matches have been held in the gymnasium of the school in a conducive atmosphere, has declared during its intervention the Chief of Sports Service in University Life, Mr. Abdul Rahim Adad Darar.
A search warrant now Ahmed Mohammed has disappeared yesterday in Balbala at Bahash district. The young Mohammed is the son of Bahash neighborhood chief known as Highway to Umar. In case you see the young Mohammed, please contact this number 77874300 or his mother 7748 and 7132.
Obituary now. We are extending our sincere condolences to our comrade of the UGTD, Mr. Saeed Younis Waburi, following the death of his beloved mother, Halim Bulali Sultan, on Friday, 29 January 2016 at the Peltier Hospital. The deceased was born in 1942 in Ali Sabih and has left behind her 4 children and 30 grandchildren. May the Almighty grant her his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
In the regional news, a plane by Somalia to reintegrate former insurgency back into the community have received donor backing. Disarmor and demobilization of reintegration center for former Al-Shabaab militant is said to be built in Kismayo with the help of a German government. Saeed Mohammed for more information.
A disarmament, demobilization and reintegration center is set to be constructed in Kismayo, Somalia, in an effort to absolve the surrendered Al-Shabaab militants back into the society. The new center for the disengaged militants, which will be funded by the German government, will offer a much needed platform to reintegrate Al-Shabaab militants back into the community. The new center will also help the federal government of Somalia and United Nations Assistance Mission in Somalia, ANSOM. On January the 20, 2016, top officials from German Embassy, ANSOM, to federal government of Somalia and International Organization for Migration visited the site where the new center will be built. German Deputy Ambassador Christian Resch confirmed that his government is ready to partner with other stakeholders to commence the construction of the new rehabilitation center for the disengaged militants. The Ministry of Interior of the interim Juba administration, Mohammed Warsama Darwish, welcomed the visit as well as the rehabilitation construction, saying the center will be helpful in reintegrating process of young people who have decamped from the Al-Qaeda affiliated group, the Al-Shabaab. According to the minister, Somalia was anticipating for the construction of a rehabilitation center for a long time, and now the site is ready for the construction to commence as soon as possible. The chief of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Somalia, Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Section, Mr. Patrick Ruth, hinted once the new center is completed, will give youth disengaged from the militant group a chance to restart their lives.
The international scene now. The U.S. election campaign in the caucus, Iowa, has given Ted Cruz, winner against billionaire Donald Trump, in the Republican running presidency, an unexpected result for Trump's supporters. Let's listen for more details.
In a shock result, conservative candidate Ted Cruz has beaten billionaire Donald Trump in Iowa's Republican presidential nominating contest. Cruz, who is a lawmaker from Texas, won with 28% of the vote compared to a likely 24% for the businessman Trump. The result has dealt a major blow to national frontrunner Trump, whose supporters had been confident for a win. It was thought a high turnout would have worked to Trump's advantage with young first-time participants, but it seems the evangelical vote has prevailed. There was also an unexpected strong showing by foreign policy hawk Marco Rubio, who appeared to have come in a third, although the final count could see even him come out ahead of Trump. There were 12 Republican candidates standing in Iowa. None of the rest managed to pull above 10%. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee said he was suspending his campaign for the Republican Party nomination. Huckabee won the Iowa caucus in 2008. The state of Iowa was the first of 50 states to pick nominees for the December 8 election to succeed President Barack Obama.
And at the White House, President Obama will make the first visit during his presidency to the U.S. Mosque. The White House announced Saturday part of the administration is a push to promote religious tolerance at a time when rhetoric linking Islam with terrorism is growing. Saeed Mohammed for more details.
President Barack Obama planned to visit a U.S. mosque for the first time during his presidency on Wednesday. The White House said on Saturday that the president's visit to the Islamic Society of Baltimore would celebrate the contribution Muslim Americans make to our nation and reaffirm the importance of religious freedom to our way of life. Last month, Obama called on Muslim Americans to help fight extremism in the aftermath of San Bernardino, California attacks. Following that call, Republican Keith Ellison, one of the two Muslims in Congress, expressed frustration that the president had never visited a mosque during his presidency.
And to close this edition, the World Health Organization has declared the mosquito-borne Zika virus to be an international public health emergency due to its link to thousands of suspects cases of birth defects in Brazil. Let's watch this reportage.
The World Health Organization on Monday declared the mosquito-borne Zika virus an international public health emergency due to its link to thousands of birth defects in Brazil, as the UN agency set to build a global response to the threat. The World Health Organization Director General Margaret Chan told reporters that coordinated international action was needed to improve detection and expedite work on a vaccine and better diagnosis for the disease, but said curbs on travel or trade were not necessary. Chan, whose agency was assailed as too slow in reacting to West Africa Ebola epidemic that killed more than 10,000 people in the past 2 years, cited, first and foremost, the big concern about microcephaly, the birth defect that caused baby to be born with abnormally small head and improperly developed brains. She noted that it was strongly suspected but not yet scientifically proven that Zika caused microcephaly. The emergency designation recommended by a committee of independent experts following criticism of a hesitant response to Zika so far should help fast-track international action and research priority. The move lent official urgency to research funding and other steps to stem the spread of the virus. The World Health Organization said last week the Zika virus transmitted by the bite of the Aedes aegypti mosquito was spreading explosively and could infect as many as 4 million people in the Americas. The Pan-African Health Organization said Zika was spreading in 24 nations and territories in the Americas. This marked the fourth time the World Health Organization declared a global health emergency since such procedures were put in place in 2007, with the other arising from influenza, Ebola and polio.
That's it for tonight's news. Thanks for following us on RTD. Have a great evening.